It's August 21st, and the strange side of history awaits. Today, we have a nuclear experiment that turned deadly in seconds, an overlooked tree that transformed into a cancer treatment, and a devastating tornado that helped create one of the most famous medical institutions. Let's begin. On August 21st, 1945, physicist Harry Danglian returned home to a remote laboratory in Los Alamos to perform one of the most dangerous experiments on Earth. Resting on the table was a 6.2 kilogram sphere of plutonium originally intended for another atomic bomb. Danglian slowly stacked tungsten carbide bricks around it. Each brick reflected escaping neurons towards the core, pushing it closer to a self-sustaining nuclear reaction. Then, as he moved the final brick, his motioning equipment began to warn him. The core was dangerously close to critical. He pulled his hand away, but the brick slipped. It fell directly on the plutonium. In an instant, the core went supercritical, and a faint blue flash filled the room as an invisible blast of radiation passed through his body. There was no explosion, no fire, only silence. He desperately removed the surrounding bricks until the reaction stopped, but the damage had already been done. His hands blistered and his body slowly began to fail. He died from radiation poisoning 25 days later. 9 months afterwards, the same plutonium sphere killed another physician. Only then did it receive its chilling name, the Demon Core. On August 21st, 1962, botanist Arthur Barclay entered a forest near Packwood, Washington, searching for plants that might contain hidden medicines. There, beneath the towering evergreens, he encountered a small, twisted Pacific yew. Loggers considered it nearly worthless. When the forest was cleared, the yews were commonly discarded and burned in slash piles. But he collected the bark, twigs, and needles anyways. 2 years later, laboratory tests revealed something extraordinary. An extract from the bark was destroying cancer cells. Chemist Monroe Wall and Mansikwani eventually isolated the compound and named it Taxol, now called paclitaxel. It worked by locking the microscopic structures inside the cells, preventing the cancer from dividing. But the miracle came at a terrible price. Removing the bark killed the tree, and the Pacific yews grew painfully slow. Producing enough required sacrificing a large number of mature trees and threatening the very source of the cure. Eventually, scientists found another way. They developed a semi-synthetic process using renewable materials from cultivated yews, and in 1992, it was approved to treat ovarian cancer, and other approvals followed. A tree, once burned as worthless, had quietly been carrying one of medicine's most powerful weapons. On August 21st, 1883, a natural stillness fell over Rochester, Minnesota. By evening, the sky had turned black. A roaring tornado ripped through the town, killing between 20 and 30 people and injuring roughly 200. Fish were swept from the ocean, and one man was lifted into the storm and dropped alive inside a cemetery surrounded by fallen headstones. It had no hospital, and by lantern light, the wounded were carried into offices, a hotel, a convent, and a dance hall transformed into an emergency ward. Dr. William Worrall Mayo, his sons, local doctors, and the Sisters of St. Francis worked through the darkness. After witnessing the devastation, Mother Alfred Mose became determined that they would never face another disaster without a hospital. 6 years later, St. Mary's Hospital opened, beginning a partnership that would eventually become the Mayo Clinic. One of the world's most famous medical institutions was born from a night of terror. Another day, another strange bite from history. Like, comment, and subscribe. Your next eerie dose is just a day away.